Hey there, my Web 2.0 tool this week is LinkedIn. It is a business-focused social media tool that allows you to share your professional life online. It has a lot of tools for linking with businesses, setting up your resume online, connecting with people that you meet on a professional level, much more so than Facebook, which is much more about the social and family side of things. So, if you come in to LinkedIn, it's www.linkedin.com. You can see that up here on my URL bar. If you haven't got a LinkedIn account, you're going to want to fill out this here. It's really fast to do, and it will set up an account for you. The actual setting up of a LinkedIn account can take quite a lot of time, because the assumption is that you're going to fill in all of the details of all of your employment and education, just as if you were filling out a CV. But once you've done it and keep it maintained, it is actually very useful. I use it quite a lot. I try to check it at least once a week to make sure that I'm connected with everyone I need to be connected with and that everything is up to date. So I already have an account, so I'm going to log into that up here and show you the inside. So when you first log into LinkedIn with an account, you'll get to the home page, which is similar to the Facebook wall, and essentially it's just things that have changed. So here someone has a new job, and Dr. Basedi is having a six-year work anniversary where he's working, and there's various news items that people post from companies. Some of it is paid advertising like on Facebook, but a lot of it is posted by people that you follow out of a choice. Over on the right there it lists people you might know, and that's based on connections you have with other people. You can also use LinkedIn to get introduced to people you want to know. So if you know someone who knows someone else you've never met, you can ask them to introduce you through LinkedIn. Ads you may be interested in. Pretty sure no one's interested in ads. The places I've recently visited, and then it tells you who's viewed your profile down here and how you rank within the last 30 days for profile views within the scope of your own connections. I have 360 connections, working my way up to the mystical 500. So once you hit 500, LinkedIn stops counting and just puts 500 plus. But it also means that my reach is currently over 5 million people within 1 or 2 steps of my current contacts. So that basically means that if I needed to find someone, the chances are I'd know someone who knew them and could get an introduction that way. So this is the front page, and from there you can go to your profile. And this is similar to your Facebook profile, but it tends to have a lot more information. It shows my current jobs. It shows my name and my picture. We have current and previous employment, as well as education. You have a summary. Really need to rewrite my summary. And then I have my work experience, and you can customize this to change the order if you want to. It doesn't have to be in this order, but it depends on your needs for the page. So down here are all the jobs I've had. And then we have volunteer experiences, courses I've taken. At the bottom we have skills and endorsements, so people you're connected to can endorse you for the skills you say you have. So essentially it's them saying, Hal has got these skills and I definitely confirm that he has. So right now I have e-learning as my highest skill, and then Captivate as my second highest skill, and then Camtasia and a bunch of other things educational related, which I guess is kind of good. And my education is down at the bottom, and then you can add additional things, and then you have recommendations, which is where people write a little piece of text about you, about their relationship with you in a professional sense, and you can do that for other people. And LinkedIn will recommend things for you to do to improve the likelihood that you'll appear in searches, because ultimately the aim here is to appear in searches that headhunters make or that companies make to try and find employees for jobs. And it's quite regular. Maybe once every week or two I'll get approached by someone through LinkedIn asking either if I know someone who can fit an appropriate role or whether I'd be interested in an appropriate role, and it's interesting. It's nice to be able to collaborate with that, and that extends your connections. I always am friendly with people who approach me that way, and I make a connection with them. It's unlikely that I'll move from here at any time soon, but it's nice to keep that door open and kind of keep your foot in the water, so to speak. So if I go to edit profile, you'll see the back end of that, and essentially everywhere there's a pencil you can edit things, and you can pull things up and down just by drag and dropping. And you can add additional things like languages you speak and organizations and honors, and you can add test scores if you're a student or patents that you own. certifications, and you can hide things. So you can add things here and then hide things, so you don't publish the updates when you change things. So it's to stop you annoying everyone in your network by publishing stuff every time you make an update. So that's kind of nice, because often people will not check that, and you'll get, every time they're updating their profile, you're getting something, and that's a little bit annoying. You can check who's viewed your profile. So I'll often check this, and there's the stats of who's viewed my profile over the past month, which is kind of nice. It makes recommendations based on things you might be interested in. So it's saying follow this guy to get personal advice. He posts things about real estate. Why I'd want to do that, I'm not interested in that, so we could X him out and it'll replace it with something different. It's like follow this guy for updates about something else, and then it'll say add a position, and then you've got follow this group, and you know, it's add a new skill that you may have, and add this person to grow my network. And it's just recommendations to try and make things easier. So for instance, it's saying higher education professionals like you got up to 2% more views by taking some of these steps. And then down here, there are people I may know that I want to connect with, or these are people who viewed my profile recently. So these are the last 5 people. Sometimes LinkedIn member will appear, which is someone who has viewed your profile that wasn't logged in, or someone who hides their profile from view, which you can actually do if you're wandering around. But if you choose to hide your profile from people seeing you in this feature, you don't get this feature. So basically what they're saying is you have to expose yourself to people knowing you're looking in order to be able to see who's looking at you yourself. And I don't necessarily find that bad, and if I see people passing through that don't actually make a connection with me, I'll often go and look at their profile, and sometimes that's enough to make a connection with someone. Whether they're useful or not, it's nice to be able to extend your reach a little bit. So then you have connections, which is what we call friends on here. So these are the things that are going on with the people in my network, and then these are the recent conversations I've had. Underneath here I can keep in touch, which is basically an extension of that page with more things that have been going on. Then we have adding connections, and you can find connections through your email, or you can add them directly. You can have it read your email and it'll pull it in. You can also search for them at the top box here and add them that way. And you can also find alumni. It'll look at where you're currently at, the University of Houston, and it'll say, here are alumni from the University of Houston, and it'll list them all down here. So these ones here I'm currently connected to, and you can tell that by the fact that they have an email symbol here, so I can send them a message. So there's Amy, for example, and she's graduating in 2015 like I am, hopefully. I haven't added my current course of study, so it doesn't appear. This is my last course of study, which was my master's. So down here are people who it thinks I might be interested in connecting with, who are alumni of the University of Houston, and I can click this button and send them a connection request, and they can either say yes or no. Now if you blanket connection request a bunch of people, it's going to annoy people, and what you're going to end up with is people saying that they don't know you, and if you get enough of that, you're going to lose abilities to send out connection requests, and eventually LinkedIn will ban you. So it's to stop you getting just basically people coming in and spamming the whole network. And it works pretty well. I rarely get spam through this. Occasionally you'll get an account created that spams a lot of people trying to make a bunch of connections so they can do advertising. But often by the time you get to actually accept or reject it, it's vanished already, because so many people have said that they're not genuine or that they're out to spam. These are notable people from the University of Houston alumni lists, and you can scroll through those and make connections with them. Often people who are more famous will tend to post updates which appear on your front page, which is nice. It's nice to get updates from people like that. And then there's recommendations, which is writing a recommendation for the University of Houston as a whole. So you can write recommendations of businesses, and you can write recommendations of educational institutions. Jobs, another reason that LinkedIn exists is to find work. So clicking on the jobs link will bring you into the jobs site. So it says these are the current jobs that you might be interested in, where would you like to work, and it'll kind of filter that down for you. And over on this side there's a whole back side to this, which is for people who are hiring, and you can pay for a big upgrade to your system, which gives you more features, and a lot of those features are geared towards people looking for employees. So it lets you search more granularly than if you are just looking around for people that you know. It lets you put in specific criteria so that you can search on a much more granular level. So here it's like move to the get special placement with applications and do all of that kind of thing. So there's a job here for a director of technology in Washington DC. There's a job here for a manager of standards and technology, and there's, I mean, it's nice to see what jobs are available, who's hiring what, and it's generally very good at narrowing down the kind of work that you do, assuming that your profile is up to date and pretty accurate. And over here we have interests, which is essentially like groups that you like on Facebook, for example, but it's limited to companies that you follow. So I actually have a page for my website over here, so it actually exists as a company in LinkedIn, so people can like it and follow it. It doesn't do a great deal right now, but it lists there, and it also means that I can be employed by that. So I list it as an employment thing as well. So if I go back and show you on my profile in a minute, I'll take you over now. So it says here that I'm currently employed by RPGMP3, and down here I am the development manager and site owner and have been for almost 11 years. So, and that links over to the company profile, which is kind of nice to be able to do that. So back over to interests, you have groups, and they're like special interest groups. It lets you create groups, so you can create groups that match your interests. You can also follow groups, and there are a lot of edutech groups and a lot of teaching groups on LinkedIn. So you find ones that are specifically interesting to you, and they'll send you updates, and occasionally you'll get email about it. So I'm currently following 34 groups that range from e-learning through to games of various kinds, and sometimes they're recommended to me and sometimes I'll go looking for them, or sometimes a connection will have a group that I'm interested in and I'll follow it. But it's all summarized here, and I can start discussions, and there are like little forums inside the groups, and you can go into them and you can interact with other people who are talking about similar things. So here's the Learning, Education and Training Professionals group, and inside of here these are the people in my network who are members of this group, and I'm not a member of this group yet. And it tells me that it has 155,000 members, so if I hit join, it'll either, depending on the settings, it immediately let me in. So here I see it, it has 26 updates at the moment, and if I go back into it, it'll show me a slightly different screen. Oh, my membership is pending, so I can't do that. I have to wait, so that's fine. Basically they're filtering through who joins the group. And a lot of groups on LinkedIn will do that so that they can ensure that the people in the groups are actually people who can provide benefit and value. Without that, you're going to end up with people just randomly passing through and bots commenting and all of that kind of thing. So it's kind of nice that they have that feature. Pulse is something that is their application. It basically adds a news feed to your phone, and you can look through posts from influencers, which is basically big users of LinkedIn. And you can get news updates that way. And then there's education, which is LinkedIn for Education, which is where you can look up your school, and there's a lot of back-end stuff for schools, and news coming out of UH is through here, news coming out of UT through here. There's all kinds of things that go on there. So basically I've been to UH and UT. I've also been to Bradford University, but they don't seem to be posting a great deal through LinkedIn right now. So there are also business services. You can actually post jobs, and you can look for talent, and you can advertise, and you can do sales through LinkedIn. And generally that will require an upgrade. So what you can do is you can upgrade your account. Now currently I have a free upgrade available. I'm not taking advantage of it because it then means I have to pay. So right now I'm only able to do a certain number of connections with people, send like messages to people a month. There's a limit on that. But outside of that, it's basically free and open as a system. I don't find the limitations particularly restrictive, so I don't feel the need to upgrade. I know people who really use it hard or are looking for employees will upgrade because the benefits are really good for them, but right now I don't feel the need to. And you get notifications through here, so my friend Sarah, for example, is now a connection, and my friend Monica endorsed me for being Captivate user, and I can congratulate someone for their new job. You can also send messages, so when you get a request it comes through here and you can talk. Somebody wants to make a connection with you, it comes through the messaging system. So overall, if you have not got a LinkedIn account, I would highly recommend, as a professional educator, you get yourself one, even just for the groups and for the ability to connect with other professionals in your field I've often found that's very useful. If I have questions about software, for example, that I'm bringing up here at the school, I can ask on a LinkedIn group that has a similar interest, and generally other people will have had experiences with it, and it will allow me to make a better judgment about it based on what they tell me their experiences have been, rather than just stumbling around. And I think that's true for almost every profession. I think everybody can benefit from just the groups that are here, and from building up the base of people that they know. So that's my review. If you want to come and find me on LinkedIn and add me, I'll be more than welcome for the happy for the connection. I'll add my link to the blog. Thank you for listening.